How many of y'all feel that vacation is very important for our reset from preventing burnout? How many of y'all check your cell phone getting up in the first 10 minutes of your day? Well, thank you for being honest. Well, as introduced, I'm mind architect. I've doctorate in parapsychology, did PhD in Shaivism, did masters in metaphysics, engineer by profession, 24 years in corporate, climbed the ladder, was celebrated as senior vice president in some of the most prestigious company around the world. Beautiful career. Well, till it hit me. It hit me with something which all of us would recognize. The digital noise. Well, calls, SMS, emails. How many of time when we get a message, we are always in a hurry that let's respond to it at that same time. And when we don't get a response back, we're like, why is the person not responding? Hey, WhatsApp have corrupted us with the blue check. And some of us has outsmarted it. No, I don't want to show if I've read them or not. When we are typing a message, the other person will know that they are typing. And guess what? They just don't click send. That patience. We don't have that. We're in a world where doing more is celebrated. Being busy, we wear it with a badge of honor. We don't like to say no. Well, it can also be treated as being disrespectful. We want to be available to everyone else. We want to say yes. We want to do more degrees, more education. Important, but at what cost? Till it hits you with anxiety, stress, burnout, or emotional fatigue. And that is where it starts into the mental loop. How many of y'all have asked this question one or more time in your life? That, hey, am I good enough? What if I fail in this? Well, I should have been ahead from where I am now. Well, if you're looking at the slide, even I should have been good enough is pretty much behind the slide, right? And is it enough of what I do? Should I do more? What if this pattern is keep on repeating itself? Well, we all have heard of various yo-yos. Why this only happens to me? What am I missing? What is the hidden piece? Where is the mental loop repeating itself? What does it want to teach us? And that is where I come today, not just as a speaker, but as a person who has gone through that noise itself. Well, it hit me when I was in US, coming back from my daily work, celebrated. Hey, I received the promotion which I've been waiting for. Fantastic. I'm very happy. Well, guess what? That excitement stayed for less than 24 hours. Why? The very next day, I was in front of my manager and discussing, Cherag, these are your next KRAs. Wow. I have not even completed my celebration with the work which I did for a year, and now here I am with a new set of plans. Planning is good. Again, at what cost? It led me to an anxiety attack. Well, at that time, I was scared. Is it the heart attack? I was 36 at that time. Well, definitely not an age to die. And that is what I took a step back. I realized, how can I understand my system better? We all understand BMS, body, mind, and soul. There are enough books written around it. Well, today, I give you a new perspective. BMS, B, our brain. M, the complete mass. And S, our system, nervous system, how our immunity works, how our energy works, for lack of better, how our aura works. Have you noticed that when a person walks in, before the person has walked in, you are like, yeah, I want to listen to that person. What is that? That's an energy field. Again, in simple terms, you might call it as aura. What is that? Where do that come out of? Why are two employees working in the same company, one feeling the burnout, while the other, they are called as the blue-eyed boy? Well, Again, the blue-eyed boy, they zip through their work. They know just perfect maths of how to delegate. They know how to get their work done. Why there is a difference if both the assignments are same? Why there's a difference if the education was same? And that was the missing piece. In the brain, mass, and system, the fourth component, our operating system, our mind. And that is where I stand here as mind architect. We all have multiple phones, right? Some of us would have Apple. Some of us have Android. Well, there are different operating systems. Both have their pros and cons. How many times have we realized what does this operating system works on? How to get the best out of this operating system? Have we taken a pause and said, okay, the first 10 minutes, let me take a pause, not touch the phone, not worry about whom I have to reply, and just sit with myself and decide how I want my day to be. Well, an interesting survey which was done in Stanford, by the time of our lunch, approx 1 o'clock, we have already made 20,000 decisions. I was like, nah, that's not possible. And this is what I went through. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Do I want to have coffee or tea today? Coffee. Do I want to have coffee with milk, skimmed milk, oat milk, or do I want to have a matcha? Oh no, I have to work on my health. Let me have a green juice today. Well, that doesn't sound too tasty. Can I add a pineapple to it? Well, there are just 5 of them. I've not yet had the drink. I've not yet communicated with anyone. It is just me talking to myself, and already 5 questions we have asked our brain. Understand one thing. Brain, it just stores data. It works on a survival mode. It says, my job is to keep you safe. My job is in past, when you did A, B, and C, the result was not in your favor. Well, IPL is going on, right? A batsman, if he gets out on a particular delivery, what they would do, they would practice it. They would practice it till they can defeat the bowler next time when the same ball is bowled. Well, what do? No, let's hold on. Let's take a step back because we are afraid of the failure. This is a mental loop. We are fixed in our mental loop. We never are taught how to say to ourselves before replying to others, yes, I'm enough. How many of us can stand in front of the mirror? We have heard that in multiple movies, multiple talks. Just stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you. I love you because you're enough. I love you because the way you are. Well, no, I'm fat, I'm slim, I'm tall, I'm dark. Well, we'll have a preconditioned notion. Is that your conditioning or were you given that conditioning? And that is where the silent reset is important. The anxiety, it doesn't help. The stress, it doesn't help. The emotional fatigue, it doesn't help. If you want to progress, you have to work out of clarity, purpose, and being in present. Well, no, Cherag, I have to plan for future. Okay, what are you planning based out of? The data set. Oh, that's of past. Interesting. Based on your past, if you keep on repeating the day, in Yale University, a survey was done. 88% of our days are repeating itself again and again. The pattern. Why is it happening? Is it because we are fixed in a time glitch? No, we are not in a sci-fi movie. Well, what are we doing? We are safe with the pain. It's okay. I now have to take care of my health. Well, getting a coffee is easy. Let me not worry about making a green juice. The first set of questions what I asked. Oh, let me check how many Instagram likes did I got. Interesting part. Even on Instagram, how many of you all do have it? I believe everyone, right? Now, on Instagram, when you upload a reel, an interesting stat shows up. How many viewers saw your reel beyond 3 seconds? Let's just take a pause and think on it. With the platform which we are so attached to, It just wants our audience to be attached to a reel for 3 seconds. What is our attention span? Are we okay to feel safe with ourselves? And that is where I come up with the RRR framework. Well, it's not inspired by the movie, I wish, right? But it's more of the first R. I talk of the reset. Remember? Brain, mass, and system? Reset. Let's learn how to reset our brain. It is constantly giving us the information from past. How can we take a pause? How can we allow the other information to come in? We've all heard the sentences, read more books. Well, listen to more podcasts. Well, attend more TEDx, for lack of better. Why? Because this is the information which is not present in our brain right now. It is a new perspective which gets introduced to us. Now, when we'll take a decision, it will be based on not only the past limiting beliefs what we have, but with a new set of perspective of what we need to do. Hey, I heard that talk. I read that book. That was a beautiful quote. What if that is true? And that is what is required to break the loop. Yeah, you might fail. Well, the probability is, if you appear for exam, how many of y'all are attempting to just clear the exam? Most of us, right? That's the problem. How many of us write the exam to just get a result for ourselves? I prepared for this particular information. I want to check myself that am I good with the information which I grasped? That is the reset. The next R, and where it comes to rewire. We all have heard, hey, I have a gut feeling. How can your gut have a feeling? Well, of course it can. Remember the BMS? The M stands for mass. That is where we have to rewire. Our brain would give us the information of what previous data set it has. How will the mind process it into this mass? What is the next trigger? And that is where the rise comes in. The nervous system, which keeps us an electric signal. Well, of course, there are many doctors out here. They might be able to explain better than what I do. But how does the trigger works? Are we reacting or are we responding? There's a big difference between both. Are we in a constant state of fight, or are we thinking it from a clarity, peace, and purpose perspective? That is where the RRR, taking 10 minutes to yourself whenever you are. How many of y'all have used computers before I go to next? I hope everyone, right? We have a computer in our pocket most of the time. That's called a cell phone. If they have multiple tabs open, what happens? It hangs. Well, let's take this as a computer. This is the hard drive. If you have multiple things open, what it will happen? It will crash. Before the crash happens, how about you do a reset? Reset? Well, in computers, you just press the power button for 10 seconds, and it's a hard reboot. How can we do reboot? Last when I checked, our human body, God did not give us any button. Well, He did taught us how to use our mind to do a reset. And today, I'd like to introduce you 3 simple techniques. I was fortunate to interview 10 of the world's biggest billionaires, close to 400 millionaires, work with the biggest name in mind, from Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. John D. Martini, Louise Hay before she passed away, Dr. Wayne Dyer before he passed away, and found what is their way of not getting burnout, what is their mantra. And out of all of them, I bring to you 3 simple techniques. Well, Cherag, you said, right, my attention span is only 3 seconds. Instagram. Well, this will take it much faster. So let's do the first method. It's called the psychedelic sigh. It's very simple. You breathe in, hold your breath for 5 seconds. Well, please don't suffocate yourself. Now, have a quick short breath one more time, and then slowly let it out from your mouth. This is used by Navy SEAL, Dr. Andrew, with 19 other neuroscientists. did a research in Stanford. This helps to reduce the cortisol, stress level, and anxiety. Number 2, the gaze method. As easy as it sounds, cover your right eye with your right hand. Your left eye, look on the left-hand side top. Hold it for 10 seconds, and then reverse. Cover your left eye with your left hand. Look on the right-hand side top, and do that. What it does on the lobes where we feel anxious, the anxiety. Have you all ever done that? Oh, why this doesn't happen to me? Why don't we sit here like this? We always sit here. That is where the anxiety stays. This will help you to close all those extra tabs. And third one, my favorite, the 5-finger breathing pattern. Start with any of your hand, with the index finger of the other hand. Keep on going up and down. When you go up the finger, you breathe in. Make sure you don't lose the touch. When you come down, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, 5 times on one hand, and reverse. This is backed by Chinese acupressure, a lot of Indian Vedic methods, where we are staying focused on how the rhythmic blood pattern can be calmed down. This is enough to be stress relieved, not free. Reduce your anxiety and do that hard reset. Well, after that hard reset, the only question is that loop helping you out? Right? Is that what you want out of your life? Are you okay in being a cocoon? Or are you ready to use this operating system, your brain, your mass, your system, to become the butterfly? Because when you are the leader is when you press that aura, you spread that aura around. Remember the question which I asked? Have you ever noticed when a person walks in a room and everyone is like, there is something about that person. You don't know him or her, but you are naturally attracted. Well, guess what? Are you attracted to the cocoon or are you attracted to the butterfly? That is out of clarity. That is out of calmness. That is with purpose. So again, being said, do the reset. Take care of your mind. Do the rewire and do the rise. And I'll close it with a quote from Gautam Buddha, where it says, the mind is everything. The software is everything. What you want is totally up to you. Thank you, everyone. I'm Dr. Cherag Shah, your mind architect.